Hey everyone, this is eevee 123 speaking. I'm not usually the sort of person that would do this sort of thing. I'm going to be talking about a particular Pokemon because it's been on my mind lately about why people love this particular Pokemon so much, even though there are so many disadvantages to it. Let me explain. But first, let me introduce the Pokemon I'm going to be talking about. It is, dun dun dun, drumroll please, dun 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 dun, Eevee. Now, I bet a lot of you right now are thinking, oh my god, Eevee! Oh my god, it's so cute! Oh my god, it's Eevee! Yeah, I'd be like that as well. Let me tell you, I'm probably the biggest Eevee fan ever. I love Eevee. But here's the question, why? Well, I guess a lot of it's to do with Eevee's cuteness. But maybe it's also to do with the evolutions. You know, evolving into many different types, that's pretty cool. But there are a couple of disadvantages to Eevee. But let me explain those. Of course, finding an Eevee is rare, that's the first thing. You know, they're not common Pokemon you'll find in grass or anything like that. You can only find an Eevee in a particular spot. In some games they'll give you an Eevee somewhere, or you have to find it in a particular sort of grass, depending on the sort of game you have. Sorry, I kind of lost the words there. But you know, people will spend hours on end trying to find an Eevee in the grass, or they'll try and find where they can get the Eevee. They won't stop at anything to get an Eevee. And I've spoken to a lot of people, and they all say that they love Eevee. Even though if it is rare to find, they'd still look for him. Let me tell you, I'm one of those guilty people. But once we get the Eevee, well, what do we do with it then? Eevee's Pokemon, their moves aren't really that strong. When you first get an Eevee, the moves they usually have is Tackle, Sand Attack, and Tail Whip. They're the only moves they have. You can't really teach it any other moves like a water gun or flamethrower. You can't teach it those particular moves until it evolves. So what do you do then? Well, you just gotta stick with those boring quick attacks and tackles. But then again, they are pretty cool, and they can be useful. And training an Eevee, well, let's just say it's harder to level up an Eevee than any ordinary Pokemon. So yeah, they're a pain to train. But also, they take forever to hatch. I've looked it up, and Eevees are actually one of the longest hatching Pokemon in the whole game. Literally, I have hatched many Eevee eggs before, and well, it takes over 2,000 steps. 2,000 steps! That's just ridiculous. But yeah, it doesn't stop me from filling up a couple of boxes. Yeah. But let me tell you, half of them I can't even be bothered to hatch them. I just leave them in the box and, just leave them. But that's the thing. Breeding. In order to breed an Eevee, you need a female. And I've looked this up as well. The chances of finding an Eevee is 18%. 1/8 of finding an Eevee. That's just ridiculous. Because you will find a lot of male Eevees because of this percentage. So finding a female Eevee is even more rare. But, many of people have asked questions, how can I breed a male Eevee? How can I get more Eevees if I've, only got a male? Because if you get the game where somebody gives you an Eevee and it's a male, you're kind of doomed, really. But, a lot of people say breed it with Ditto, it'll work that way. I have never breeded Eevee with Ditto before, and I'm never going to attempt that. I always make sure that I, get a female. If you want to know how to get a female Eevee when somebody gives it to you, just look on YouTube. I mean, how else did you find this video? But anyways, so that's a lot of the disadvantages. It's rare to find, it's a pain to train, takes forever to hatch, their moves aren't good, and it's just rare to, breed. So why do people love Eevee so much? Well, that's probably to do with the evolutions, like I said before. Their evolutions are amazing, and you have a big choice. It's just like in a supermarket, you know? If you have a huge variety of this particular topic, like toothbrushes, for example, if you have a whole variety, there's more chance people are going to buy them than if there's only like a couple. Actually, sweets would have been a better example, but, you know. So it's like that. The evolutions that exist now is Vaporeon, a water type, Flareon, a fire type, Jolteon, an electric type, Espeon, a psychic, Umbreon, a dark, Leafeon, a grass, and Glaceon, ice. And the new one, Sylveon, the fairy. My god, have you ever seen a more cute evolution? Oh my god! It's so cute! I love Sylveon. But I have to tell you, Leafeon is probably my still number one. I love Leafeon. You're amazing. Well, they're the evolutions. And when you evolve an Eevee into one of these evolutions, Eevee can learn the moves depending on what type it is. I don't really need to go through it, you know, Water Gun for Vaporeon and stuff. And if you want to know how to evolve your Eevee into any of these, you know, just look on YouTube. They have them there. So, and not just that, the designs on their evolutions are just amazing. I mean, Sylveon, oh my god, whoever thought about putting bows and ribbons on an evolution? And the great thing about this is that, well, Eevee's evolutions are endless. Eevee is known as the evolution Pokemon. It did start off with just 3, but now there's just going to be more, and probably more than that. Well, what do you think? Why do you like Eevee? Because I just like Eevee as herself because she's so cute and fluffy. I just have a thing with fox Pokemon, I guess, and it's just, she's so fluffy. I guess that's what makes her cute. And her brown fur and her big eyes and beautiful. But why do you like Eevee? Do you think Eevee is a pain or not? Just put your comments down below. It would be great. And let me just tell you, I've never done this sort of thing before, talking about a particular Pokemon. But that is one thing I like to do, just talk about each one. Well, I guess I'll do more videos on that then. Well, EeveeXR123, out.